it's a mess. It is a mess. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. If the light is a little bit off today, it's because I have angled the ring light to try and not have it, but no, it still will be when I move slightly, but I'm trying not to have it bouncing off my glasses to distract everybody. I have been working a huge amount recently and my contact lenses just will not play ball in my eyes. My eyes are saying, no, give us a break. So we are here with glasses and I'm trying to angle the light. So that explains the light situation. So hopefully that doesn't get in the way of this video too much. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to compare and review the Louis Vuitton Neverfull in the GM size, which is the large size, with the Chanel Deaville in the large size also, because these two totes I think really are comparable. They are comparable in size, they are comparable in use. I can see how if you were thinking of adding a large tote to your collection, how you would be considering between one or the other, and I thought this would be helpful while I have both of them in my collection to do this review and comparison. Now, in the spirit of complete honesty and upfrontness, I have been a very long signed up member to the Neverfull fan club. I think it's fabulous. I think it's a fabulous bag. This is my second one. I use it on a daily basis for work. It's a real workhorse for me, and I have to say that I think it is great. This bag, on the other hand, is actually sold. It has been part paid for. I am waiting on the new owner to pay the second part of the payment of this bag, and once they do, it will be shipped out. That, though, keep listening, because that is not really indicative of my thoughts of this bag as a whole. That is indicative of my own personal situation. I still think this is a great bag, and I will explain why that came about. Now, firstly, in respect of size, they are both very big bags. They are very big totes. If you do not like to carry a huge, massive, big tote, then these bags are not for you. If you are thinking that you have, like myself, lots of smaller bags, but would like to add a bigger bag and that you might use it, and you might want to try a cheaper tote, a non-designer tote, a tote that you pick up to see whether or not you're actually going to use it before you spend the money on one of these types of bags, because both of these are very expensive. Now, this bag I get a huge amount of use out of because it is my work bag. If I was in daily life and I was not working, or I was not going to work, or I didn't have my child still at the point where this was getting filled with nappies and wipes and that sort of thing, I wouldn't really have a use for a bag as big as one of these two bags. I generally, as you can see behind me, I'm a small bag lover. I'm a mini bag lover. I don't carry a huge amount of stuff with me when I'm not going to work. So if I was living my general life with these, either of these wouldn't get a huge amount of use. I use one for work because it fits my laptop, it fits my files, it fits my agenda, it fits all of my SLGs filled with all sorts of nonsense. I carry a pencil case to work, I carry lots of things to work, and this works for that. So if you have a use for that type of bag, fabulous. If you are one of those people that's the opposite to me and you like to wear larger bags, fabulous. But just be aware of that going in. I have a small tote here that one of my friends bought me that is wreaking havoc since 1981. Something like that, if you want to test out, if you have a use for a large tote, may be a better idea than going straight into one of these. The Neverfull GM is very slightly bigger than the Chanel Deaville. It's not really something that you can see, well, you can, because that was a really silly statement, but I will explain what I mean. You can see that the Chanel Deaville comes up from that side, touching that. It's very slightly shorter than this. When I first bought the Deaville, I have the bag organizer from Samorga, not sponsored, not gifted, but the bag organizer from Samorga in my Neverfull GM, and I just used it whenever I tried out the Chanel Deaville, and it had to scrumple up very slightly. It just didn't fit perfectly because the Deaville is just very slightly shorter on the across side. Now, there isn't very much difference in the height, and they both, it's not as if it's a small bag and you're comparing between the two, what can fit your stuff in or what can carry your stuff, because they both can carry the kitchen sink, let's be honest. They are both huge. The Deaville over the Neverfull has a few features that I actually really like. For the Deaville, I love that it has these leather handles and then it has these longer straps. The Louis Vuitton Neverfull does not have that. It only has the straps here. Now, I can personally fit this under my shoulder and carry it comfortably. I have watched videos before with people who have the MM, which is the medium size in this, that it doesn't fit completely comfortably under your shoulder. But the GM, I have no difficulty in fitting this under my shoulder and carrying it that way. Now, when I have this packed absolutely full, which I do on a daily basis, and I put this underneath my shoulder, it can be heavy because there's a lot of stuff in it. It's not that the bag is heavy, but it doesn't have the thickest or most cushioned straps to be carrying everything that you have in it. Now, I believe that if you have the Damier Ebene, which has the treated leather, they are a bit stiffer and they can cut in a bit more. These do cut into your shoulder if this is completely full. I don't find it overly a problem. If I'm carrying it completely full, it's not normally for a very long distance. It does cut in a little bit, but I don't find it awful. If I was going to be walking a long distance, carrying it with everything that I carry during the day, I think it would be awful. I think that would cut into your shoulder. It just doesn't have much comfort to it. The Deaville has the chains through it and it has the fabric. Now, I believe if you have the newer Deaville, there is a leather insert perhaps on this, which would make it a little bit more comfortable. And I think that if this were full and you had this chain with the leather insert, it would be more comfortable than the Louis Vuitton. And that is certainly something to take in mind. When I was wearing this, I didn't find a difficulty at all with the chains not having the leather strap. I found this actually to be quite comfortable to carry. And I found this a bag that didn't bother me really very much on the shoulder. Now, there is more to the Deaville on the inside. On the inside of the Deaville, now it's still a big black hole, and I would recommend with either of these bags, whichever one you are going to be looking at, I would recommend a bag organizer. I personally have mine from Samorga. I have a discount code for Samorga. Princess will get you 20% off. It's not affiliate. I don't get anything from it. I just personally like their organizers. I'm sure there are other companies for organizers that would do just as good of a job, but that is the one that I have. Both of these bags will become a beautiful mess if you're using it without an organizer. The Neverfull is the same. When I first had the Neverfull, now what's holding that up is this. But when I first had the Neverfull, I didn't have an organizer in it, and I found it to be a mess whenever I would set it down with not too much in it, and it would just slop. There you go. This would slop down like this. So both of these, if I think you're interested in either, I would recommend looking at an organizer. On the inside of the Deaville, there is just a little bit more going on. There is a zip pocket across the back, which the Neverfull also has. There is a little pocket in here. There is also this into the Deaville, where you can attach your valuables. It doesn't have a zip closure across it, which the Neverfull doesn't either, and it has the magnetic button, that closes it in the middle. The button in the middle where these two pieces close, and that is how the Deaville closes. So it doesn't have a zip across it either. It's not as if it has a lot more security than the Neverfull does. It holds pretty much the same, as I say. Inside the Neverfull, it only has the zip pocket here. It has these little hooks that if you want to attach something to it, and it has this hook closure that you can close the Neverfull in the middle like this. What the Neverfull does come with that the Deaville doesn't is it comes with this little pouch. Now, I personally really like this. Whenever we were on holiday, I had this inside the Neverfull, obviously from being carried with me, and I used this as a little clutch bag whenever I was going somewhere, or whenever I'm using this during the day to work and it's dirty inside because it gets used, I will put money in this or certain things, bank cards in this, and that is where I will keep them whenever I am carrying this, because there isn't much security. I will at times clip it closed, but it doesn't zip up, and I know that's a point for some people. Now, if you don't have an organizer in either of these bags, there is zero organization. That drives me crazy. I like the organizer in it. I have the section for my laptop. I have sections where I put my keys. I have sections where I put my glasses, where I put different things, and I know where they are. In either of these bags, if you're using them without an organizer and just throwing it in, oh, it's a mess. It is a mess. It is impossible to find. You're rummaging about, and it's not for me. I do like the organizer. I really like that this comes with it, and that is a plus for me over the Neverfull. I also like the deep pink interior choice that you have on the Neverfull as opposed to the Deaville. One thing I love about the Deaville is look how pretty she is. Look how pretty she is. This one, I think, is a particularly special and stunning model of this bag. There are others I also really, really like, but this one I think is beautiful. It is the pink tweed fabric. It has the pink glitter writing here. It says Rue de Cambon in Paris. It has the CC and the Chanel. It has the pink tweed all around. And one of the pluses for me for this bag is how beautiful it is. It's a stunning, stunning bag if you have a use for it. It's a bag I wanted to use. I wanted to have a use for. I really wanted to stay in my collection, but when I got this bag, in reality, I had no use for it. I think if you are looking for a Deaville and it's a light colour or a fabric Deaville like this, I think you have to be honest with yourself about, firstly, your lifestyle, and secondly, where you live. I live in a country that can be quite wet. This is just not great for that. The Neverfull obviously has vachetta on it. It has vachetta on the handles. It has a vachetta trim. But this bag is so big, the percentage of vachetta against the coated canvas is actually quite small. If the Neverfull handles or this part here were to get water spots on it from if it were raining, that really wouldn't bother me. This, on the other hand, I was very, very conscious of using. I was conscious that it's a light coloured tweed. I was conscious that if it got caught in the rain, the bag could be destroyed. It could be watermarked. I was conscious that what was inside could be destroyed. I was conscious whenever we went on holiday, I didn't take this because I was worried about taking it on the plane and putting it on the floor on the plane. And I have to say that's against the backdrop of I am someone who uses my bags. I do not baby them. I sometimes use them in a way that people would be offended by because I am not that careful at times. I look after them, but I use them. My first Neverfull, which if you've been here before you might have seen, was destroyed because I used it so much for 10 years. So I am not someone that's very precious about bags, and I was still wary about using this. Now, a lot of that is because the country that I live in is very wet and rainy and dark, and just this worried me. I had envisaged using this on holiday. Ha ha ha, lol, lol. If I had the lifestyle that I have in my head, or I would love to have in my head, and I was going on lots of holidays where I went to a beautiful villa with my friends and I drank cocktails and I perched this beside the pool, and I didn't have my 5-year-old and my 2-year-old running around splashing in the pool and practicing their cannonballs, and I didn't have umpteen bottles of suntan lotion having to go inside whichever beach bag I was bringing, and I didn't have snacks and I didn't have juices and I didn't have all those things. If I was going somewhere and I was wearing my best pieces and living my best life with my friends, yes, this would be a perfect holiday bag. For me in my real life, it's not. I just don't have the life really to use this, and because of the weather at home, I wasn't using this at home because I was conscious of it. That being said, it's absolutely stunning. But for me, what came down as the better bag is this. Now, I am by no means saying that this is inexpensive. It is currently £1,220. That's a lot of money. When I bought it the first time, it was €550. Quick calculation is about £490. It's now nearly 3 times that. So this is a lot of money. But The coated canvas is quite hardy. The colour is dark. It's just a bag that I could use more easily and with more peace of mind than the Deaville, because of my lifestyle, because of the children, because of the rain, because of what I'm carrying in it. I packed this bag. I just didn't want to destroy or potentially destroy the Deaville in the same way. But, so this for me came down as the winner. Also, as I say, it's not inexpensive. It is £1,200. But the Deaville is currently not on the Chanel website, but I believe that it is somewhere between £3,500 to £4,000. So it's a lot of money for a bag that I feel you need to be careful with, and you need to be more careful with than you would need to be with this. Now, that being said, if you have a lifestyle where you don't have young children, or you do live in a warmer climate and you live in a climate where it doesn't rain as much and that you would have less chances to ruin that bag, I think it's a fabulous bag. I think it's a very, very beautiful bag. I would not have bought it in the first place if I did not think that. I really, really hoped it would work. What my hope for that bag was that it could be a second large tote and I would interchange it with the Louis Vuitton Neverfull, perhaps even in the summer. My difficulty was our weather. Our weather just had me too concerned to use that bag. So I think if you live somewhere that is a bit warmer and a bit drier, that bag has more options for you and is a better option and a better bag to consider than if you live in a country that rains a lot. If it rains a lot, I just think you really need to consider what you're buying and the amount of money you're spending on a bag for that type of climate and the potential for damage. That does not take away from the fact that I think it's absolutely stunning. Even since I decided to sell that bag, I have found myself looking at some of the other models, the models that aren't as light as that, the models that are leather, or there's a shearling version. Oh, that's pretty. But I am really convincing myself for two reasons not to do it. One, if it's tweed, if it's fabric, it's the weather. And two, I discovered in having that bag that I just don't have a need for both of them. I need one or the other. I don't need two. So I would say as well, if you're looking at these bags, if it's one or the other, bear in mind the cost difference, bear in mind your climate, what you're going to use it for, what you're going to be putting inside it. I would highly recommend an organizer, but also bear in mind that if you have any other large totes, if you are a large bag person, like I know Minnie from Minx for All's channel has lots of Deavilles and big large totes and uses them a lot. And if that is the type of bag that you gravitate towards, that could be perfect for you. If you are like me and only need a tote for a certain occasion and generally go towards smaller bags, I would just have a think about the price of the Deaville to fill that void in your wardrobe. Those are my thoughts. That is my comparison of the two. Those are my thoughts of a review between the two. I hope this was helpful for anybody that is considering one or either of these bags, or is maybe thinking between each of these bags. If you have any particular questions about them, please just leave them for me in the comment box and I will get back to you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Please take care and I will see you again in the next one.